Hey guys, welcome back. So a few guys on the lapidary forum on Facebook asked me to make a tutorial on how I make my soft resin bonded or soft Nova wheels. So I thought I'd make a video. So I'm using a laser cutter here to laser cut a base out of acrylic. You don't need a laser cutter. This is, I find that they work a little bit nicer, but it's really the formula, the liquid rubber formula that matters. What I use the acrylic for is I sort of make like these little molds. You'll see here. So it's like a little cavity that I fill with the liquid rubber. But you really don't even need this. If you have an old diamond plate that's worn out, you can just coat the diamond plate in the material. But here what I'm doing is I'm using a solvent to fuse the two layers of laser cut acrylic together. If you want to use the mold method like I'm doing here, you can use wood, maybe cut it with wood, or even cardboard. It doesn't matter. You'll see. I'm using silicon carbide here. Silicon carbide's cheap. This entire container was like $5. I could probably get like 200 discs out of this thing. So I'm trying to think what I did here. I think it was 6 scoops, around 6 to make one disc. That sounds about right. So yeah, I think it's about 6 or 7. If you want to count the scoops, you can count them. But it just visually, it's about this much. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, like about that much. Alright, so this is the liquid rubber I use. It's Flex Seal. It comes in a whole bunch of different colors. I don't think the color matters, but I like clear because you can sort of see how much abrasive you have in there. So if they have clear, get clear. You can get it at Home Depot. I think it's like 15 bucks for the container. This this container, you'll see how little you use. It's very little to make one disc. So this container can probably make over 100 discs, I'm sure. So in reality, these are like less than $1 a disc, which is comes out pretty good because Nova wheels are, what are they, like $60 or $70 each? So you're really saving a lot of money here, and you can customize these. Silicon carbide makes it cheaper, but I'm sure diamond would work better. I've never had any problem with silicon carbide, so I'm just going with silicon carbide. So you want to mix it up here until the consistency is really what you're looking for. It's about a roughly 1-to-1 mixture of abrasive to liquid rubber. But you might have to, like, play around with it a little bit to get the texture. The texture is really what you're looking for. And you're going to see here in a minute, once you have it stirred up really, really well, it starts to act like a non-Newtonian fluid, where if you let it drip onto itself, it sort of sits on the surface for a second. And you could sort of like draw a line, and the line will sort of stay on the surface for like a few seconds. That's sort of the consistency that you're looking for. And then what I do is I just fill the sort of mold that I made. But like I said, I haven't done them this way, but I don't see why it wouldn't work, where you could just take an old diamond plate that's essentially now just a metal plate because all the diamonds wore off, and just coat the plate in this rubber, and I'm sure it would work just fine. If anyone does that, let me know in the comments if it works. I might try it. I have so many old diamond plates. And then you let it sit. It'll eventually all even out. Here I'm hitting it with a torch to pop any bubbles, and the heat from the torch also helps it sort of flow into all the cracks and all the edges and get it level. And the thing with this stuff is it's cured to the touch in a few hours, but you can't lap on it for a few days because it slowly gets harder over time. So I would suggest you let it sit for at least 3 days before you use it. This is another thing I wanted to show you guys. This is a leather lap wheels that I make. You could use any old leather. Here I just have an old piece of scrap leather, but you can use like an old leather jacket. I'm laser cutting it, but you could just cut it with scissors. If you don't have a laser, it'll work just as fine. These are finishing. So what I do is I use the Nova wheels for my roughing, and then I do my final polishing on leather, and it's been really cheap and it works really well. I cover the leather in this double-sided tape, before I cut it, but you could just use glue if you don't have double-sided tape. And essentially what you're going to do is you're just sticking it to something more sturdy. Again, if you don't have a laser cutter where you can laser cut acrylic, you can just stick it onto an old diamond plate. That would work just fine. So we're going to stick it on there. And then after it's on there, you're going to coat it in wax. But it's easier to coat it once it's on the lap, so we'll coat it when it's on the lap. I guess this is the plate we just made. It's still curing, but this is a plate I made a few days ago, and this is a higher grit, but it's enough for me to show you how it works. And these things last forever. I've been lapping on this plate for a while. All right, this is lapis. You can see it's just really rough. This is just a raw piece of lapis. I'm just going to like round out the edge just to sort of give you an idea, show you how it works. I'm going to do it quick, so I'm not going to use my my water. I'm just going to spray it with water just because I'm only going to lap this for a second just to show you guys how well it works. This disc that you see here, I've been using it for about a month straight, no problem at all. And I've had discs that I made before this that look brand new after 6 months. All right, so I rounded the edge a little bit with the soft wheel, and now I'm gonna like just do a little bit of a polish with this leather wheel just to sort of give you an idea. So I'm gonna, while the leather is running, I'm just gonna rub some wax on it. What the wax does, I'm going to coat the leather in diamond abrasive. So what the wax does is it allows the diamond powder to stick to the leather. If you don't put the wax on there, the diamond powder is just gonna fly off. You don't need much, just like a little bit. I'm using W10 diamond powder, I think. I definitely use too much here, but that's fine. By the way, I get my diamond powder from AliExpress. It's super cheap. I could put the link in the comments if anyone's interested. I'm just gonna just polish it for like a few seconds, just to sort of give you an idea, show you guys how quick these wheels work. Obviously, you'd want to spend a little more time. That's the rough edge before it was lapped, and this is the lapped edge, all round and shiny. And I really only ran it on these discs for like a second. I like these discs much more than diamond discs. One, because they're cheaper, but two, because they're soft to the touch. You could sort of stick your finger into it. And I find when you're doing round cabs, it's just so much easier and faster. You don't get any unwanted facets. So anyway, that's it. That's my tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. All right, guys, take care.